The Strait of Hormuz is where Iran's strategy shows its full weight most clearly. Their approach is very simple, but extremely effective. Choke off an extremely narrow maritime route that is vital to the global energy trade. It is a massive bottleneck where large oil tankers are forced to pass through only two tight shipping lanes, one inbound and one outbound. Iran currently controls 3 major islands located right along these corridors, and deep inside them is a network of hardened underground bunkers and threatening anti-ship missile sites. That is exactly why it is far more difficult than people imagine for the United States to fully secure and clear this strait. What makes the situation even more complicated is that Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps does not rely mainly on large warships, but uses small speedboats to carry out swarm attacks from every direction. Their goal is to close in fast, strike the ship's command area, cripple the crew's response, and then turn the vessel into a motionless target at sea. Meanwhile, to completely neutralize the threat, the U.S. military would not only have to deal with dangers on the water, but also hunt down every underground bunker on those islands, using bunker buster bombs weighing up to 5,000 pounds just for a chance to destroy launchers hidden deep inside the mountains. Looking across the broader Middle East, it becomes clear why Iran can use geography to put pressure on about 20% of the world's transported oil. What is striking is that not only Gulf states such as the UAE, Qatar, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, and Iraq depend on this corridor, but even Iran itself also relies on that same narrow route. At its narrowest point, the strait is only about 39 kilometers wide, equal to 21 nautical miles. The northern coast belongs to Iran, with rugged mountainous terrain that is highly favorable for natural concealment and the construction of hardened bunkers for missile launchers. Iran also controls a chain of islands such as Qeshm, Larak, and Abu Musa. In reality, these are not just simple islands, but more like fixed armed fortresses sitting right on the edge of the shipping routes. The shipping lanes here are especially fragile because of the shallow waters and many reefs, forcing supertankers to follow a very strict traffic separation scheme. There is one inbound lane about 2 nautical miles wide, one outbound lane about 2 nautical miles wide, and a buffer zone of about 2 nautical miles in between. When attacked, these massive ships have almost no room to evade. That narrow space is exactly what turns Hormuz into a place where a single well-timed strike can shake the entire global energy supply chain. To block the Strait of Hormuz, Iran first has to control the key islands, and the IRGC relies on a triad of fortified outposts, each playing a different role but working together as a deadly system. First is Larak Island, which can be seen as the throat grabber of the strait. Larak sits right next to the choke point of the international shipping route, so the strategy there focuses on close-range pressure and direct intimidation. From that position, IRGC high-speed attack boats can reach a cargo ship in just minutes, giving the crew almost no time to react. Drones are launched to monitor ships that are anchored or moving slowly, while speedboats move in to physically surround them. If a captain tries to power up and escape, they are ready to open fire. Next is Qeshm Island, which serves as the heavy weapons depot. If Larak is like a knife at the throat, then Qeshm is the sledgehammer behind it. This is the largest island in the Persian Gulf and an important military hub for the IRGC. Its rugged, rocky terrain hides a maze of underground bunkers and mobile anti-ship missile launchers. Qeshm is built to deploy heavy anti-ship missiles such as the P-15, while also hosting many drone bases and radar stations. In other words, it is the strategic anchor of Iran's entire coastal defense system. Then comes Abu Musa, the forward attack outpost. Located farther south and closer to rival Arab states, Abu Musa is a heavily fortified early warning center. From there, Iran extends its anti-access and area denial zone deep into the Gulf. Radar systems on the island can track Allied warships and cargo vessels very early, before they even reach the choke point. This position significantly expands the danger zone, forcing any passing force to face pressure from a distance, not just after entering the bottleneck. When attacking cargo ships, the IRGC usually starts with high-speed swarm tactics. They deploy groups of small boats that are hard for radar to detect, moving at speeds of about 50 to 70 knots. Just 10 to 20 of them are enough to close in on a single cargo ship from a full 360 degrees. They rush at weak points, using heavy machine guns and shoulder-fired missiles, aiming at the bridge to blind the ship and then striking the engine room to turn it into a dead mass of steel in the water. Hidden within that chaos are unmanned boats packed with explosives, remotely controlled and sent straight into the ship's hull to tear a large hole right near the waterline. While the crew is still overwhelmed, other boats quickly drop tethered naval mines directly into the ship's path. At that point, the vessel has only two choices: stop or risk having its keel broken. If the swarm attack is not enough, Iran has another layer of firepower: anti-ship missiles launched from mobile trucks. These vehicles can fire and then immediately retreat into hardened mountain caves, making them extremely difficult to hunt down and strike back against. Coastal defense cruise missiles such as the Noor and Gator are exactly the kind of persistent threat that hangs over ships passing through Hormuz. Even so, the West is not without countermeasures. When Allied warships enter the strait to escort cargo ships, they create a high-tech defensive bubble around the convoy. To deal with naval mines, navies deploy specialized warships and mine countermeasure vessels using high-frequency towed sonar, underwater drones, and Seahawk helicopters to scan the waters ahead, detect and detonate mines before the cargo ships arrive. Against anti-ship missiles, Allied destroyers rely on advanced combat systems such as the U.S. Aegis system. The moment an Iranian missile is launched, destroyer radar locks on and fires interceptor missiles like the SM-2 or SM-6 to destroy the target in midair. At the same time, Seahawk helicopters can use Hellfire missiles to hunt attacking boats from the air. But in the end, the most effective measure is not just defense, but striking first. The US and its allies maintain an entire real-time surveillance network of drones along Iran's coastline. If they detect mobile missile launchers leaving mountain bunkers or boats loading naval mines at port, Allied fighter jets and ship-launched Tomahawk missiles are tasked with destroying those targets before they can fire a single shot. Iran's P-15 anti-ship cruise missiles, hidden deep inside underground bunkers, were once seen as a major threat to international shipping through Hormuz. To neutralize them, the U.S. used multiple 5,000-pound bunker buster bombs to strike heavily reinforced coastal missile sites. The weapon referred to here is the GBU-72, a 5,000-pound precision-guided bomb fitted with a modern guidance kit. These huge bombs can penetrate about 160 feet of earth or 20 feet of solid reinforced concrete before detonating. Once they break through the outer protection,
An ordinary
the explosion
airstrike creates a
inside is
small,
strong enough to
ineffective
wipe
surface
out the
explosion.
entire
The
underground
GBU-72
structure.
penetrates deeply, triggering a massive
Against bunkers built to survive
superior bunker
ordinary
busting capability.
airstrikes. This is one of the few options that can truly make a difference. In ship self-defense systems, the first protective layer is often a close-in weapon system such as the Phalanx. At the top is the Kuban search radar. Below it is the target tracking and fire control radar. And lower still is the 20mm Gatling gun, capable of firing up to 4,500 rounds per minute. All ammunition is fed from a dedicated drum through a continuous feed system. When the Phalanx is active, the search radar can detect an incoming drone or threat from around 10 miles away. The software confirms the threat. The fire control radar locks on at about 5 miles, and then at the optimal firing range. The gun opens fire and keeps firing until the target is completely destroyed or rendered ineffective. With a nearly non-stop stream of dense fire, this system is designed to wipe out any drone, small boat, or aircraft that gets too close to the ship. If an additional layer of protection is still needed against small and hard-to-kill targets, the CRAM system comes into play. CRAM combines radar with electro-optical sensors and also integrates an 11-cell RAM launcher that can be reloaded, creating a relatively independent combat system that does not need to rely entirely on outside information. At the heart of the system is the RIM-116 rolling airframe missile, a lightweight infrared-guided surface-to-air missile especially suited to intercepting subsonic sea-skimming missiles, such as Soviet-era P-15 variants modified by Iran. In that kind of scenario, CRAM can respond very quickly, protecting an area within about a 6-mile radius with a described hit rate of up to 90%. The origin of the anti-ship missiles used by Iran actually goes back to the Cold War. These were originally Soviet-era designs. When launched, the first booster stage operates for about 2 to 3 seconds, after which the next stage takes over and uses analog radar to search for a target. Once it has a stable lock, its shaped charge warhead is powerful enough to destroy or even sink a cargo ship if it hits at the right angle. And Iran did not stop there. They also took the SA-2, which was originally a surface-to-air missile, and modified it into a dangerous anti-ship weapon. This modified SA-2 version can be launched from a distance of about 45 kilometers or 28 miles to target U.S. warships. To damage or disable a large warship, Iran may need to fire several in coordination, along with land attack cruise missiles and prolonged attacks designed to create psychological pressure, disrupt trade routes, and force the other side to burn through defensive resources. Against larger targets such as aircraft carriers or U.S. Arleigh Burke-class destroyers, the attack concept is imagined in multiple consecutive layers. The first stage is to launch waves of drones to overload the warship's air defense system. The second stage is to fire older anti-ship missiles such as the P-15 or P-21, missiles that can fly at speeds of around Mach 0.95 and still deliver heavy damage if they hit. The third stage is to use surface-to-air missiles that have been converted into anti-ship weapons, reaching speeds of around Mach 3.5 and capable of causing serious damage to a warship. Even without completely destroying the target, this type of layered attack can still create a strong psychological effect, disrupt movement, and force the other side to remain on constant high alert. In summary, Iran's strength in the Strait of Hormuz lies not only in its weapons, but also in the way it turns terrain, islands, bunkers, small boats, drones, naval mines, and missiles into a layered threat network. In such a narrow space, where even a small mistake can carry a very high cost, that strategy forces any force trying to protect this shipping route to face an extremely difficult problem. Not only defending against the strike that is already coming, but also constantly hunting down and eliminating the danger before it can even appear.